Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Remember, you can also catch me on a daily basis on 99 Sport as we do discuss all the other clubs, including Arsenal as well. Now, in this video, we're going to be discussing Martin Odegaard. The stories about him and Erling Haaland do not seem to dry up, despite the fact that Erling Haaland is very, very close to joining Manchester City. Again, Odegaard did come out and say, look, if he's coming to the Premier League, I want him to come to Arsenal. We're going to be discussing agent Martin Odegaard. We'll talk about Richarlison. Mikel Arteta thinks that if Everton go down, then Richarlison should be able to come to Arsenal. We'll talk about the non-negotiable price of Victor Osimhen, 100 million plus. That is what Napoli want. We'll talk about the priorities in the midfield as confirmed by The Athletic. And also we'll talk about homegrown players that Mikel Arteta is looking for in this summer. That and more is coming up on the show. I want to say a massive thank you, a big thank you to all the people who smashed the like button. We got 4,000 views on that video about Gabriel Jesus and the transfer window. But also, we got 414 likes. Our like target was 150. So we massively destroyed the like target. So in this video, let's get to 200 likes. I hope we can do that. That is my like target. Of course, we can smash it to 500, 1,000. All I care about is that we lads can get those likes in. Two people actually asked me to do videos for them in the last video. That was Oken Peter and Active Hillary. And Ken Peter told me to do a video about the midfield situation at Arsenal. I will gladly do that. And obviously, Active Hillary told me to do a video about all the other clubs and the updates around the Premier League. I will also gladly do that. So if you want me to do a video, specifically a scout report, a news video, just let me know in the comments below. I'm always in the comments trying to chat with you and increase interactivity on the podcast. Let's get the party started. Now, to start off the party, let's start off with Martin Odegaard, agent Martin Odegaard. He was having his interview. I think we've discussed a couple of parts in his interview. Now, one of the other things he talked about in his interview that actually has not been new is the fact that he would love Erling Haaland to come to us. Now, he was asked about the future of Erling Haaland. He said, "Look, I do not know what's going to happen. There's a lot of decisions to be undertaken by the player, and I know he will really make a wise decision." And then he also said that, look, Erling Haaland is going to be guided by his representatives and his father, but if there is a club I want him to come to in the Premier League, that is Arsenal Football Club. Now, that's a very, very interesting story, based on the fact that HITC Sport around 3 weeks ago also reported that Erling Haaland was trying to convince, was being convinced by Martin Odegaard to join Arsenal Football Club. It's a story that, look, for me, just appears to be a normal story. I don't think there's going to be anything bigger than that. I don't see Erling Haaland coming to Arsenal. 600k per week, in pounds. That is what that is the salary Manchester City are offering. I don't see how Arsenal are really going to match up with that. Look, despite the fact that we're having a very, very good wage bill, we are in a very, very good financial situation, and a couple of players like Lacazette and Xhaka could leave in the summer, creating a lot of space on the wage bill. I don't see Arsenal go for Erling Haaland. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, the player is interested in the manager who will be managing him in the project at the club, and is also interested to know how much he will be getting at his new club. So I think Manchester City, for me, they're at that level. They're at the level where Erling Haaland is interested in joining them. They are Pep Guardiola already around the corner, already in the team, not around the corner, but already in the team, and they have Champions League football, and they could be title winners and competent title contenders. So for me, Erling Haaland, yes, I love the player, and I would 100% take him at Arsenal. But if you ask me, is it a doable deal? At the moment, I'm not so much convinced. Now, Mikel Arteta has already identified his midfield priorities. According to The Athletic, like I reported yesterday, he wants someone who plays as a 6 and also someone who plays as a number 8. Now, two names at the moment are being looked at, Ruben Neves and Yuri Tielemans. However, there is also a possibility that Arsenal will go for homegrown players. Now, look, when we talk about homegrown players in the Premier League in terms of midfielders, I think I'll talk about Calvin Phillips. We're not interested in Calvin Phillips. I've not seen much stories about Arsenal and Calvin Phillips. But if there is a homegrown player in the midfield that I'll take at Arsenal, I'll take Calvin Phillips, I'll take Declan Rice. But if you look at Calvin Phillips, 50 million, I think that is doable for Arsenal. Declan Rice over 100 million. I don't think that is a deal, a transfer summer move that Arsenal are actually going to go for. But those two, Ruben Neves and Yuri Tillemans, are on the top of the list in terms of midfielders, according to the Athletic, and Arsenal will try to sign either of them. Tillemans can play as a 6 for me, but really I think he's more predominantly prefers to play as an 8. I think if you're talking about an all-rounder, if you're talking about a player who can play both as a 6 and as an 8, then you're talking about Ruben Neves. So thoughts on those two in the comment box below. Do you think Yuri Tillemans would be the perfect fit for Arsenal, either to play alongside Thomas Partey or Granit Xhaka if Partey is not around? Or would you think Ruben Neves would be the all-round player to either come in and play alongside Xhaka when Partey is not around, or to play alongside Partey on a more regular basis? I would love to know. Now, the other story is the striker situation. Arsenal is also is going to be monitoring. Our scouts will be monitoring Tammy Abraham this Thursday in the game they'll be playing in the Europa League. Now, Roma honestly have come out and said they want 80 million. That is non-negotiable. They want nothing less. I think they're trying to scare away all these potential suitors, all these potential clients that would want to all the potential clubs that would want to take Tammy Abraham away from the club. But scouts are going to be moving. Scouts are going to be looking at the player. So this Thursday, we expect Arsenal scouts to be looking at Tammy Abraham. Now, 3 players from Italy are being monitored by Arsenal. Victor Osimhen. Talks have been initiated by with his agent. I'm going to be telling you more about the story. Lautaro Martinez as well. But Tammy Abraham, for me, in the recent 1 or 2 days, looks like he's the leading candidate to join Arsenal as part of that striking duo. I think Gabriel Jesus is going to be the priority in the summer. But then the second one, I will not be very, very surprised if we see that man there, Tammy Abraham, coming at Arsenal. 80 million is what Roma are looking at. This summer they bought him at 40. They want to make a 40 million profit on the player. Whether Arsenal will pay that or not, it remains to be seen. Now, the other story is about Victor Osimhen. Today in the morning, it's been reported that the 100 million plus bonuses for Victor Osimhen is non-negotiable. Arsenal have reached the agent of the player. The player said he would love to play in the Premier League, particularly at Arsenal Football Club. He loves the project, and the offer that was given to him actually tempted him from Arsenal. However, Napoli are saying they do not want to sell, and to think about selling the player, it would cost 100 million plus bonuses. Now, we've discussed this on the podcast a little bit, at length. I don't think it's worth that. I don't think at the moment, you just splash that money on Victor Osimhen, 100 million plus. He's got the potential. I think he will blow. I think he'll become a very, very good player in the end. But at the moment, I'll be very, very skeptical, while, just getting 100 million and paying up, for Victor Osimhen. I'll be very, very, very skeptical. But anyway, that money, that price is non-negotiable. So if Arsenal want the player through and through, then they need to pay 100 million plus bonuses. Mikel Arteta is looking to sign Richarlison. Arsenal want to take the advantage of Everton going down. At the moment, Everton are part of the relegated the relegation zone, and the 3 that could go down if the league ends like this would be Everton, Watford, and Norwich. So Arsenal want to use the opportunity of Everton going down to go and get Richarlison. It looks like Dominic Calvert-Lewin is no longer a priority in terms of Arsenal getting in a striker They are looking at Osimhen, Abraham, and of course the man himself, Darwin Núñez, and Lautaro Martinez. They're not looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin anymore unless there is anything that changes in the summer. So Richarlison is the player that Mikel Arteta wants. He wants that kind of player, especially given the fact that Nicolas Pepe will be leaving in the summer. And of course that has also been confirmed that Nicolas Pepe will be sold by Arsenal. Around 25 to 30 million is what Arsenal will be going for. So if you see Pepe out and Richarlison in, do not be very, very surprised. Arsenal want to take advantage of the situation. And lastly, Arsenal will try to get homegrown players in the summer as well, just like we did last summer. Now, Mikel Arteta loves homegrown players for one or two reasons. One is, you can register them in your squad, or you can actually register them as part of the under-23s, and they can play regular team football in all UEFA competitions and also in the Premier League. So Arsenal will try to go back for homegrown players, like I've reported earlier. It looks like Calvin Phillips is one of the players that I would really want. I don't know how many homegrown players Arsenal are looking at really in the summer. Maybe Jed Spence is one of the players I'm looking at. But I'm not really looking at any other homegrown players. The likes of Ruben Neves, the likes of Yuri Tillemans, those are not homegrown players. So I mean, it'd be very interesting for me to see what are we going to do in terms of homegrown players. Who do we really want? Tino Livramento has suffered a long-term ACL injury, and that has been confirmed by Southampton. Arsenal have been big admirers of the player. He will not continue with Southampton this season until the end of the season, so we'll still wait to see what's going to happen with him. Arsenal really going to change their compass to someone else. Tino Livramento is one person I really, really loved at left back. I think he's very, very consistent as a player, reliable, but I think also he gives you that perfect replacement of Kieran Tierney, that kind of man that can just blow up and produce numbers at the high end of the pitch, but also very, very reliable when it comes to the defensive work. You can trust him as a manager and as a team. So Tino Livramento has suffered a long-term injury. He will not continue with Southampton this season. I don't know by June or July whether he will be back. I'll give you an update around him. But he's one of the targets that have been really strongly linked with Arsenal. Him, Tillemans, and of course Victor Osimhen. Those three strongly linked with Arsenal. Now Tino has suffered a long-term injury. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you also do subscribe to the channel as well. I'll be back with your video of Arsenal's top priority targets for Mikel Arteta as reviewed by David Onstein and The Athletic. And I'll also be doing a video for you today about the scout. I will be releasing actually the scout report of Gabriel Jesus. See you soon. Speak to you in a bit.